Let's move on now to the trial of Derek Chauvin. The bystander who told George Floyd to comply with police broke down on the stand while testifying during video replay of Floyd calling for his mother shortly before he died.
Mr. McMillan, do you need a minute? I know that this is difficult. Can you just explain sort of what you're feeling in this moment?
I feel helpless. I don't have a mama either, and I understand him.
Charles McMillan, the state's 11th witness, also confronted then-Officer Chauvin after the incident, saying he should have taken his knee off Floyd's neck. Chauvin is heard on body cam video defending himself.
That's one person's opinion.
But no, I gotta get him.
We gotta control this guy because he's a sizable guy.
Yeah, and I tried to get in the car.
Looks like he's probably on something.
Earlier in the day, prosecutors played a security camera footage of Floyd inside the Cup Foods buying cigarettes with the allegedly counterfeit $20 bill and circled the face of Christopher Martin, the 19-year-old clerk who made the sale. Prosecutors then showed Martin outside among the crowd of bystanders with his hands on his head, appearing distressed, and asked for his thoughts at the time.
We saw you standing there with your hands on your head for a while, correct?
Correct.
What was going through your mind during that time period?
Disbelief and guilt.
Okay. Why guilt?
If I would have just not taken the bill, this could have been avoided.
The prosecution also introduced body cam footage of Floyd's arrest from Chauvin and the officers with him that day. Floyd could be heard pleading not to be shot as he's taken from his car. He is later seen being seated by police to await the arrival of additional officers, including Chauvin. Live streaming of the trial resumes today at 9:30 Central Time. Paul Butler, a couple of things. I noticed yesterday. For example, the 19-year-old clerk who sold him the cigarettes, noticing that $20 bill may not be right. Those employees have to pay if they accept a counterfeit bill. So it ends up being taken out of their paycheck. So the kid was thinking, as he's watching George Floyd get killed on the street, that he's responsible. He's walking around. All of the witnesses yesterday had such guilt about not being able to do more. And I guess the question is, how is it that seeing this happen with your own eyes in front of you is a different experience than being the cop on the back of the dying man?
That's a great question, Mika. I wish I had a great answer. Every witness has expressed remorse and a survivor's guilt. We saw Mr. Williams, the MMA dude, big booming voice, but just break down and cry. Mr. McMillan, the older gentleman who testified yesterday, the uncontrollable sobbing. Mika, one of the bystanders in the crowd says to Officer Chauvin, "Why are you doing this? He's human, bro." But the prosecutors want the jurors to understand Chauvin did not treat Mr. Floyd like a human being. All of these bystanders, all of these witnesses did. So this is not the angry mob that the defense is trying to portray. These are brave citizens who stood up to the police at their own peril to say, "Not in our name will you snuff the life out of this man."
And Paul, as you watch witness after witness get on the stand in this trial over the last 3 days and talk about their own guilt and what they feel about not intervening somehow, they should let that go. I know it's hard. What could they have done? But my goodness, even the young woman who filmed the video said she felt guilt. Well, her video is why we saw it. It's why we know about this terrible, terrible death of George Floyd. But what exactly is the prosecution going for here? What is their push? And are they executing and carrying out, prosecuting a good case here? And on the other hand, how is the defense team handling this? What do they do with a video that we all saw with our own eyes?
So, Willie, every prosecution witness is to establish either that Mr. Chauvin used unreasonable and excessive force, and that it was Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck that killed Mr. Floyd, and not the drug overdose that the prosecutor claimed. So every witness has to establish one of those points. So yesterday we saw Christopher Martin, the clerk, let the jury know that George Floyd was under the influence of drugs during the time of his fatal encounter with the cops. The prosecutors know that the defense lawyers will make a big deal about that. So the prosecutors want to be the first people to let the jury know that, so it doesn't look like they're trying to hide something. But then the video shows Mr. Floyd coherent, in control. He doesn't look like someone who's about to OD on meth. So again, that helps the prosecutor make the point about the actual cause of Mr. Floyd's death. Defense, they're not doing a great job, but frankly, Willie, they don't have a lot to work with. The prosecutor evidence is overwhelming.
We'll be watching the trial closely right here on MSNBC all day. It's really worth taking the time from what you're doing to see what is being said in court and the case that's being laid out here. A lot of different storylines at play that are so important and represent the struggles that we face here in America today. Paul Butler, thank you so much. We appreciate your coming on this morning.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.